Well, good morning, Alignment Network. How are you? How are you? So, today we're going to talk about knowing what you know and master it. Know what you know and master it. Now, do you know the reason why I'm thinking about this particular topic today? Because in business, the success of your business, it really lies in how well you know what you know and how well you master it. Okay. If you know what you know and you master it like no other, then people will drive the distance. People will pay the coin, okay? They will do what it takes to get you to do what they need you to do for them. I was talking to, and the inspiration from this, for this, comes from a customer. A customer came in the office 2 days ago, and the customer talked about his business because they was getting some things printed, and he was talking about how what he was doing and what he was getting things printed for was not his bread and butter. It was not what he does. He says what he gets paid for and what they pay him salary for and what makes his living is a major company paying him to train their employees to do what he does. A major company paying him to tell his employees to train them every step of the way to do the things that he does just for vacation money. That is crazy. You hear me? Because he came in and he said, what I'm doing now, he said, this is me and my wife's vacation. He says, I can't make a living doing what I'm doing. He said, what pays me, where I make my living is this company pays me to train their employees. And it's one of the biggest companies in the U.S. that does what I do. And they want me to train the employees to do what I do. He said, but I tell you, even though I train them, even though I can train them, and I do, he said, they still can't do what I do like I do it. That's something to be said, ain't it? That's powerful to me. That is powerful to me. Because if you can get into your business, your craft, your niche, and you get into it and nobody can do it like you, nobody can know the ins and outs of it like you, nobody can master it like you, then people will pay the dollar to get you to do it. Do you hear me? I just sat there and he just wanted to tell me about it. It was my first time really meeting him. I had been doing the printing and his wife had been coming in to get these things done. But this particular time, he just wanted to come in and talk. And that's the first time I had really ever met him and talked with him. And he was just so inspirational. And he was talking about how God has blessed him, blessed his seed, because what he does is a help to someone else because of the knowledge. He said, and sometimes I might lose money over here, but I gain it over here. But my bread and butter is to teach others what I know. He said, but because I am skilled at what I do, because I have done it for 30, 40 years, because I've mastered it, and I know the equipment that it takes to get it done, and I know how to operate that equipment, and I know what it takes to get a good product, then that part of it can't be taught. It has to be learned. It has to be obtained. It has to be done on the job. And so when he teaches, he's teaching you the basics. He's teaching you the how-tos and what to, but he can't teach you the skill to. You understand me? And so the interesting thing about what he does is that he does do excellent work. He really does. And when he does it better than anyone I've ever seen. And the thing of it is, and just to protect the privacy of my customer, I'm not telling you what he does and I'm not telling you who he is. But I'm giving you the essence of what he told me and what I got out of it. Because the bottom line is, when you know who you are, when you know what you do and how to do, and know that you are the best one to do, then it don't even matter whether or not they want your services or not, because you got other people lining up who do want it. You got other people who willing to pay the money for it. So if you confident enough in it, you know, okay, you can go ahead and get somebody else to do it, but guess what? You'll be back, because he said that. He said that. He said that there was other people who was trying to get into the business to do what he is doing. He said that he was trying to get, that they were trying to come in and sneak in and watch him do it and then say, well, I can do that. He said, but no, they say it looks like it's easy. He said, but it's a lot that goes on after I'm done. It's a lot that I do that you don't know what I do to get the product that I put out. He said, so you think you know what you're doing, but in the end, I'm the only one that knows what I am doing. Y'all know I'm paraphrasing it, but it sounded so good. But that's what he's saying in so many words. He is saying, and then the interesting situation was, he was like, okay, there was another customer of his who had been his customer the year before. But then when they moved on and they decided they wanted to try out a friend of theirs, sometimes it ain't about what you know, it's who you know. And sometimes the who you know will give you your first chance and opportunity. But he gave that person their chance, and he discovered, that's a spam call. He discovered that that person didn't do what he did. And so the person that passed him over to give his best friend a chance, that's the one that came back and said, you know what? I want you to do this again for me. But see, that's what I'm saying. When you know what you know and you master what you know, and you're the only one that knows what it takes to master what you know, then it don't matter whether they pass you up the first time, because guess what? All roads gonna lead right back to you. Everything that somebody else tells you and they trying to say, oh, I can get that done cheaper, I can get that done better than that, and I don't have to pay as much. Guess what? All roads gonna still come back to you, because guess what? They might pay cheaper, but hey, cheaper ain't always better. Because when you know what you know and you master what you know and you gifted in doing what you're doing, then everybody don't have the gift. Everybody don't have the gift. Everybody don't have the flavor. Everybody don't have the creativity, the passion that you do. So guess what? When you get ready to do what you do, then they're going to see something in what you do that is unmatched by anybody else. I'm here to tell you. And it's just awesome, because when he was sitting here telling me that, he said, not only that, but because of who I am, he said, my seed is blessed. Hallelujah. He said, my seed is blessed. When you know who you are and you master that, and then when you know what you know and you master that, and when you know how to do what you master that, then people will pay the dollar. They will travel the miles. How do I know that? Hey, people do that for me. People done travel an hour, 2.5 hours. People done been up in Atlanta and say, you know what? I can't find nobody up here to do what you do down there. I right now got an order. I got to ship out to Atlanta, because she said, I can't find nobody up here that does what you do. So she was willing to pay for it, invoice online, for me to ship it to her. When you know what you know and do what you do, and you master what you do, then people will pay the dollar, have it shipped wherever, across the country, out the country, whatever, to get what it is you got to provide. My mother, when she worked on campus at Fort Valley State, she mastered SPSS. I don't even know if y'all know what SPSS is, but it's a statistical something system. But it was a computer language that analyzed primary data. So when they went in the field and did research, when they went in the field and collected data on a Likert scale, she knew how to come in, put that data in the system, and get the results to say, this many people did this many people did that, the more people here did than that, and this is what these results mean. Okay, because if you survey 100 or 200 or 300 or 1,000 folk, you've got to come back and put all that data in to get your results. You're not going through all 100 of them to see who said what and how many said more or less, and how and what the actual results are in a chart. You are not going to go back and do that by hand. You have to put that data in a system. You have to know the language of how to put it in the software, and you have to know how to do it so you can get your results. My mother was mastered that. She did that over 30 plus years at Fort Valley State. And when she did that, there were people who was working on their doctorate degrees, their doctoral thesis, and they say, I got to do this primary research for my thesis, and I need you for my dissertation. I'm sorry, for my dissertation, and I will pay you. to put this data in and to do this for me because I don't know anything about it. It was people across the campus who would send her the data and wanted her to input it because it was a language. She had mastered the language. Then people, when they put it in and they wasn't getting what they wanted, they would send it to her and say, can you figure out what I did wrong? People were willing to pay her. People were willing to pay her because of what she knew. Because of how she mastered what she knew. And then when it was time for her to leave, they wasn't ready to let her go. When students did research, when I did my senior thesis and we had primary data to put in, she was the one to go to because she could show you how to read what it was giving you. She put it in and she knew how to read it and knew how to tell us how to read it so we could write our papers. I'm here to tell you, if you know what you know and you master what you know, people will pay you the money. People will be willing to hire you. And you can have you a major gig just because somebody want to pay you to do what you do exclusively for them. That's what business is all about, baby. That is what business is all about. And I was just so fascinated with this man because he loved what he did. And he said, what I'm doing right now, what I just printed for him, he said, it's vacation money. He said, I don't get paid doing this. He said, I get paid because people pay me to teach what I know. And then he told me that there was another company that wanted to pay him to train their technicians. Come on now. When you know what you know and you master what you know, people will be willing to pay you. You can't get in the business not knowing nothing. You can't get in the business not willing to learn nothing. You can't have a business and not be willing to master what you're getting in business to do. When I look at people's work, people can look at my work and say, I know you did that. I know you didn't do that. I have had my customers, even when I brought somebody into work in my shop, I had to get them to look at what I do and say, look, your work needs to look like this because this is what my customers want. Because when they looked at something else, they say, I don't know what's wrong with it, but something is off. It's something wrong. I don't know, understand. And I looked at it. I knew exactly what to do and I knew exactly how to fix it. And when I did, they were satisfied. And that's when I had to let them know that, look, you need to fix this. Because they know my work. Even people that don't work for me, people that go to other funerals, other services, churches or whatever, they know what I do because I've mastered it. My passion is in it. I can take what you give me and make it look like something you never thought it would look like. And then if you decide that that's not what you want, hey, I can take it and tweak it and make it look like this. I told you, I'm a visual communications technician or specialist. So I take what you give me and I make it look the best it can. I want you to give me, I want you to give me something great to work with, but sometimes that's not possible, so I take what I can get. But the bottom line is, you got to know what you know. You got to master that thing. And when you become the best, hey, I was looking at TV the other day. It's been some time back. But there's this guy, and I think he's in Atlanta. But you see these rappers and things who have all this gold in their mouth. And, you know, it ain't like they got bad teeth or nothing, but it's just the look. It was the fad. It was the image that they wanted to project, where they had this gold and the diamonds and all that inset in the gold in their mouth. And I know I always wonder where they did that. And I was trying to figure out what dentist in the world take time to make that kind of bling to go in your mouth. And it was on TV one day. And it showed the guy and how people fly from across the country, stars, celebrities who want to have that kind of bling going on in the mouth. He has he has crafted and he's mastered how to fit your teeth with the bling that you want to be showing in your mouth. And people fly in from all over to pay him to do what he does. Come on now. We got to think about, if you're going to be in business, you got to be serious about who you are and what you are in business. And whatever it is you got to offer, you got to master it. And you've got to know what you know and do what you do and make sure that it's your signature on it. Even if you don't put your name on it, they know who did it. Then when somebody else sees it and your name ain't on it, but they want to know who did this, where did you go to get this done? Even down to who does my hair and the places I go to shop or whatever. I've been out places and people want to know who do your hair. They want to know who cut it. Hey, I can be walking advertisement because when people see your work, we was in Walmart. The guy at the checkout line in the cat that was a cashier. My husband and I was admiring his haircut. That fade was tight. The fade and the way he had lined that thing up, that thing was tight. And when we got to him, we said, man, who cut your hair? We had not seen, a hair, you know what? It took me being married. It took me being married to my husband to realize a haircut wasn't a haircut. We think just getting your haircut is just looking decent or whatever. And when I was coming up, the boys used to get their haircut and stuff like that. And a time or two, I cut some hair back in the day with the foster kids and stuff. I would cut hair when they couldn't get to the shop or whatever. But I didn't realize what a difference is in a haircut. You got some people who pride themselves in being a master barber. And then you got some people that just cutting hair to make money. And you got some people that just cutting hair for a living. But they don't pride themselves in the cut. They don't pride themselves in staying up on their craft. They don't pride themselves in making your hair look the best it can look, even after you leave the shop. That guy, that night, when we said, man, who cut your hair? My husband said, who cut your hair, man? And I'm like, yeah, because I don't even pay haircuts attention, but man, your cut and your fade is tight. And the way he got you going, that is tight. And he gave us the dude's name. My husband went that day, and the next haircut he got, it was from that dude. And he been getting his haircut from now ever since. Because the passion and the expertise that this guy has for a haircut as a barber makes my husband travel about 30 to 40 miles. I don't know how far that is from here, maybe about 30 miles, to go get a haircut. Well, before we was content getting a haircut done right around here in town. Because when you want what you want and you want the best, you be willing to travel and go get it. You be willing to go get it. I'm trying to tell you, know what you know, master that. And people will travel to come and get you. This guy that does my husband's hair, my husband has to make his haircuts like months out in advance. Because this dude stays booked. And then he can charge you $40 if you want an after hour cut. Now, $40 may not be a lot to y'all, but around here, when you can get a haircut for $15 or $20, and then you got to do $40, hey, you be willing to pay it. Know what you know, master what you know. I got somebody coming in. Y'all take care. Be blessed. Know what you know and master that. Blessings to you.